about smoking is finishing smoking and alcoholism, the texts from Ramatis. Less only two from have only two more from smoking and only two more from alcoholism and finish. Then, after this, the last question in other last live was, all invertebrated smokers, after they discarnate, suffering oh my God, suffering the afterlife, the pernicious effects of the addiction cultivated on earth. This is the last question. Now, if you want to know the answer and you don't saw the last live, go to last live about Ramatis smokers, okay? Is in the playlist from Ramatis. Question this live now. Assuming the case of an individual of exalted soul who, after being discarnated, deserved even the vision of Jesus, what would happen to him if he had been in an inveterate smoker on earth? Ramatis answer, it would be similar to a captive balloon that, having gotten rid of 99 ties, is still struggled afflictedly to detach itself from the last fragile silk rope that prevents him from going into space. Let me clean my glass. One moment. I was with a problem. Hello, you that send me hearts. To you too. And I had a big problem with connection, and I must change this. And I started the other, but I must stop it and change connection. Now, continue here. This sanctified soul, although it could immediately enter into the bosom of a happy humanity, and with it and enjoy all the benefits and joy of a higher life, would from time to time its fortune cloudy in the face of the unusual and conditioned desire of the cigarette, is still vibrating in its astral intimacy. Let me explain. Is a case with a person that was so good soul, marvelous soul, make great works in planet, but don't get to let in mental is important. Understand why left this vicious, and this soul don't make this. was the question, what happened with the soul? In first, Ramatis say that he would mercy see the Jesus Christ, but have a link still with this planet. And is this what Ramatis are explaining? Before the just law of a spiritual ascension, we both enjoy the glories deserved by a sanctified human life, and we will also have to suffer the result of any carelessness or recklessness which we have practiced in the form of vices or passions of the flesh. This is why suffering in the future life can affect even those who have managed to develop the superior goods of the spirit, but who have been careless to extinguish some vice or habit fed in the flesh. Then is not a punishment from God, but is a link we maintain in other planet. How can I live in another place if I am totally linked in this place? It's impossible. I ever would return here, I will worry there. Is this? Some discarnated souls who perispirit already detach themselves from the glow of lights cannot steal from time to time from the fact that their mind is disturbed by the insufferable desire of the barbecue or even the whiskey or the pork cachaça. In truth, I tell you that everything you connect on the earth will also be connected in heaven. Let me see. Is right. Matthew 18:18. As you can see in this, I will read again this statement from Bible. In truth, aspas, in truth, I tell you, Jesus, that everything you connect on the earth will also be connected in heaven. And everything you turn off on earth will be turned off in heaven. Matthew 18:18. As you can see in this admirable concept of Jesus is implicit that the teaching that we will only inhabit heaven in the most complete state of peace, freedom, joy, after we completely disconnected from all things. Desire and vices of the carnal world is a logic happen. So what on earth was unleashed by the very will and consciousness of the Spirit will also be unleashed in afterlife. He who smokes, drinks, feeds, widely on earth is connected to earthly pleasures until the spirit itself forgets them. Is something take us to another result. Our acts is ever this, provoking reactions, our acts, for prison us or turn us freedom, with freedom. It's gonna, unearthly, he who smokes, drinks, feeds widely on earth is connected to earthly pleasures until the spirit itself forgets them. Since that doesn't force him to leave the vices, pay attention. We ever are waiting a miracle. The miracle is our own control. Control ourselves. This is the miracle. This is a miracle. This is, believe me, this is a miracle. And not waiting, oh, I change my, in other dimension, I change dimension, now I am free. No. Unfortunately, no. And maybe with great suffering, we will discover this. If was only the desire, but was not only this, is great pain cause a spiritual body as in hurt, cause the vicious. He who smokes, drinks, feeds widely on earth is connected to earthly pleasures until the spirit itself forgets them. Since that doesn't force him to leave the vices with the physical body, because he is not in body, the vice. Vice is in the spirit. And mind is a spiritual mind, principally unconscious. In the grave of matter, since that does not force him to leave the vices with the physical body, in the grave of matter, the body of flesh only reveals the sensations of the spirit in the physical world. The body of flesh only reveals, this body only reveals what we make in past. Reveals in other dimension, and when we return here to correct this act, we will reveal this too. Because the new body will receive influence from a spiritual body that have all impressions from construction or destruction we made in this body. God, don't let your sons, don't assume his responsibilities. God don't make this. God don't make this to responsibilities of other. No. The body of flesh only reveals the sensations of the spirit in the physical world. Therefore, the inferior desires, which live in the intimacy of the soul, continue to be manifested even before the munificence of the celestial environment. Have a time that I don't want to know this. I want to continue smoking. But after I have great deception with me that I was tired to don't control my desires, I said, stop. I will be owner of my mind. And nevermore I smoke with anger, cause my dependence make me to be dependent of another person. And I hated the software of this, hated. Then I finish all dependence of other person, or all dependence to smoke or device. Question, other question. Since the use of smoke is so pernicious to man, wouldn't it have been wise for God not have created the plant Nicotiana tabacum with those leaves the smoke is prepared? And Ramatis answer with other question. Do you believe that God has created something pernicious? Doesn't earthly medicine currently use poisons, acids, and deadly drugs that in therapeutic employment can save thousands of creatures? Ramatis asked to question of the medium. Doesn't earthly medicine currently doesn't earthly medicine currently use poisons, acids, and deadly drugs that in therapeutic employment can save thousands of creatures? Hasn't the very venom of spiders, scorpions, and snakes been successfully applied to overcome several incurable evils? Hasn't this? In the plant which you refer, there is a large amount of elements that can be applied with excellent utility in industry, medicine, commerce, and other spheres of peaceful labor. It's not in the spiritual tradition of our plan that Ramatis taking about the spiritual plan, dimension, his dimension. Then he said, is not in the spiritual tradition of our plan, our dimension, that the Creator has created the tobacco for man to chew it, is suck it, burn it, or toast it to put inside or burning then reduce in lint stuffed in satin paper or between comb straw. The plant Nicotiana tabacum is not a pernicious thing created by God. It's the man who turns it into smoke and then loses his mental command and become obsessed with cigarettes, who controls him to his motor nerves and forces him to pay tribute to him from dawn until night. Oh, so much words wrong here. What to say about the most practical way to quit smoking? Ramatis' answer. It's obvious that the problem is not limited to letting the cigarette. and aspas, letting the cigarette, as they say, but to regain the power of the will. This, exactly this. For this I stopped with this, because I perceived that I was dependent of persons, dependent of vices, for what? For nothing. To lose my power in my mind. My power to will. You depend the will in other dimension to survive, to construct things. You depend of this totally. Have an history that Kardec account about. A phenomena they will study in loco. Go to the house where stones appear from nothing in front of house and assert the front of house, broken all front of the house and floor too. And no one would know where these stones appear. Appear from nothing in front, and was how a transparent person was making this. And this is real. But this spirit got materialized. Because he was power. No, he was hunger. The will of this spirit, so inferior spirit, not superior. Only inferior spirits can make this. Materialize things to disturb a family, a person inside this house, ever have a motive. Then this spirit, Kardec asked to this spirit, for what you make this? The spirit answered, by a great sensitive that Kardec ever take together him. And the spirit, true sensitive, said, when I was walking in this in view and street, they don't have house. He don't have house, and he walking by streets and catch things in box of the broken things. But the two women in those houses ever when saw this walker humiliate them him in past. All life this spirit, this man walking in this field, these two women of this house humiliate him. Then they count this to Kardec. I have hungry of this woman. I suffering a lot, and then her humiliated me too. They contribute to my suffering. Now I will discount. And this man with so great anger they have so great will to offend theirs, that he got materialized with will. God materialized stones and don't have condition to owner of the house take good, cause he turned and broken all things, all this front of the house to humiliate them. Then Kardec said, I want to see you jump a stone. Make this to me. Kardec was so crazy. And the spirit let a pause to talk and said, if I would, I would get a mountain of stones and jump in you, because the spirit don't like in that card. Will spirituality take them far from those houses? And the spirit was so angry with Kardec, but spirit continue. I don't can jump stones in you, because your protector don't let. Only this I don't will make what you are asking me. Then I realized that high spirits control inferior spirits so much than we imagine. Spirits this way, we name it demons, don't have demons, have bad spirits, have anger spirits, have so inferior spirits that all high spirits control. And we can ask, why good spirits of those houses don't stop this spirit? The answer, Kardec said various times, this occur because the family inside of this house must understand that humiliating other persons is not good, and this will have return. You treat so bad other persons, maybe when this person that don't will forget what you made, and will return. If he is inferior, will return to discount this. And spirituality don't stop this spirit, because people inside this house are wrong and don't believe it in nothing. Then spirits don't stop this, still they can. Two people inside start to believe in God, start to believe that have another life after that. All this is a lesson that God permit spirits, bad spirits, give to others. Only because this happen, good spirits let this happen. Because probably inside the place where phenomena occur, those people that are receiving this are with necessity to wake up to other realities. It's only because this. If you are a good person, if you make the good to others, if you respect the others, this don't will occur with you. And if it's thing of the past, if you are making the good in this life, this don't will happen with you. This only occur with people that don't regret the bad acts. If people don't regret bad acts, spiritual plane superior can control, but don't will make this. To other wake up is a way to make others wake up. Spiritually. Then I saw all this cause will. If you have will, you can be a bad spirit, a good spirit. The will permit you make things, materialize things in other dimension. The will, because this I account this history, the will of this ruddy spirit permit him materialize a stone. See how strong is our will, and a strong will to stop a vice. We must develop this to survive in other dimension. I think is the most important thing we must learn here. Develop the will. And now, own control. This is all another dimension. It's obvious that Ramatis said that the problem's not limited to letting the cigarette, as they say, but to regain the power of the will, which is enslaved by it. If the man abandons smoking meat or alcohol but continues mentally to smoke, pay attention. If the man abandons smoking alcohol, meat, but continue mentally to smoke, I remember some years after I stopped to smoke, one day only, I dreamed that I was smoking. Then I read this. Then I start to think about it. Today I would smoke, but I don't want. Because I remember my mind. My mind was so tiny. So without will, I don't have more will. I only want smoke. This was my happiness. Oh my God. This is so a bit. This is so to want be enslaved from other spirits and from your dependence to other resolve your problems. This is the real root of the dependence. The other resolve my problem, emotional problem, or other type of problem. Don't have importance, but is a dependence to other resolve, not me. Is in a childhood to be a spirit. But continues mentally to smoke, people stop, but continue mentally make this. Eat meat or drink alcohol, it doesn't matter that if he is freeing from the object of addiction, because it's certain that he is not yet the owner of his will. This is a problem. This is a seed of the problem. This is a root of the problem. The owner, that he is not yet the owner of his will. It's in the mind of man that first of all, a healthy campaign, it's in the mind of the man that first of all, a healthy campaign against addiction must be undertaken. Through intelligent reflections, he must be convinced of the stupidity of submitting to physical, psychic, and economic damage caused by cigarettes, cigars, or pipes. The offensive, therefore, should not be initiated against the object of addiction. In other words, is not all stop to alcohol, stop to smoke, stop to meat eat. No, is control the will by understanding what this act will take us. and the importance, the will in this constitution. We are sons of God. Making this, we turn us slave of the demons, or demons don't exist, slave of other slavers. And this don't have the end. Uh, it's the mind of man that, first of all, a health campaign. It's in the mind. A healthy campaign against addiction must be undertaken. Through intelligent reflections, he must be convinced of the stupidity of submitting physical, psychic, and economic damage caused by cigarettes or pipes. Cigarettes, cigars, or pipes. The offensive, therefore, should not be initiated against the object of addiction, which is smoke, but in the sense of recovering the lost mental comment. Was exactly this I perceive. Was a suffering, a great suffering. Imagine you have a castle. In this castle, you smoke, you have your prince that gave to you gifts, and you smoke, and one day all this disappeared, the castle and the prince and the gifts, and you start alone with smoke, and you perceive with great pain, profound pain, because the other disappear, the castle disappear, the gifts disappear, and you are so without will with this. Then I visualize, finally I visualize, after 3 years of vice, I visualize how idiot I was coming to lose my will. I was angry with other, cause disappear without saying nothing. 9 months going with me, disappear. Don't say more, nothing more to me. Don't explain, don't say goodbye, no, disappear. Then I woke up and I stopped. I don't want more this. I don't want more those men. I don't want more this. I want my will. Because I discover the great strength I had inside me and the great control I acquired with 50 years. 15 years, only a teenager. And I went my fight. I went in the morning, and the bar of the school full of smoke, all the school smoking. I see first here, my God, I don't will God, but I continue without smoking, and people start to strange me. And the most famous in the school, I pass it to be the more ignored. Without friends, stop the friends, good friendship. Grace of God, I choose it, me. I choose it, my will. I choose it. I start to perceive how much things my mind can make. I start study piano. I start pay attention in classes. and I start to see how much strong I was. How much strong I have when I would choose my will. Then nevermore I stopped to study, I stopped to uh, will so good in school, nevermore I repeat the year, nevermore, and nevermore I started to smoke, nor when I married with a smoker. Never this, never with another smoker again, cause the first smoke too. But now I have an absolute certain that I don't, never more will make this. Still, if a day I will forget this life, I supply my necessity to dependence of the other, of the external things. I recover my will, and I understood that I have my self-control. And all things that I repair that are making an repetitive act and are a destruct act, I stop. I don't have more difficulties to abandon bad acts or vices. It's in the mind of man that first of all a health campaign against addiction must be undertaken. Through intelligent reflections, he must be convinced of the stupidity of submitting to physical, psychic, and economic damage caused by cigarettes, cigars, or pipes. The offensive, therefore, should not be initiated against the object of addiction, which is smoke, but in the sense of recovering the lost mental comment, and is a great victory. Who that get this, oh, is a victorious that don't have another in the world. Is marvelous. True intelligent reflections must be convinced of stupidity. The offensive, therefore, should not be initiated against the object of addiction, which is smoke, but in the sense of recovering the lost mental command, the directing psyche of the phenomena of the life of relationship between the soul and the environment must be resumed again. Must be resumed again. The directing psyche of phenomena of the life of relationship between the soul and the environment. This is so much important, because when you take this act, you lance in environment various waves of vibration, how this stone in the middle of the lake, you will cause this vibration that will amplify around you. It's not you, but all the community around you, you receive these effects of this act. And this is recovering the lost mental command, the directing psyche of the phenomena of the life of relationship between the soul. And the environment must be resummed again. Man must once again become the absolute master of his actions. And don't elude, if you have a vice, you will cover by this. You don't can go to other dimension and say, oh, sorry, I don't have culpability because I have a vice. I am a vice person. It don't will be accepted. You ever will be responsible to your slave or to your freedom. And ever have, cause who make this is our conscious, is not external, is intern result. When you come in other dimension, your conscience will appear. It's not so good when we make bad things here. Man must once again become the absolute master of his actions, despising the silly and pernicious suggestions of the vice that dominates him. It's certain that the liberation of smoking addiction will be much more difficult if by affinity of addictions or due to any moral dysregulation. The creature is already being surrounded by entities of the lower astral, attracted to him. Attracted to him. You will attract this. In this case, liberation not only requires the mastery of one's own will, is not this sufficient, but also the adopting of a way of life that causes the disconnection of another vicious and free will from the afterlife. Free will from the afterlife is free will to persons that are to spirits afterlife. Vicious, another vicious, disconnection of another vicious and free will from the afterlife. The free will from the afterlife is the spirits that have will to continue in vice. And you influence you. Perceive that is a nice ball. How much have a link? How much this it will be so much difficult to go out of this influence. Principally, if you have affinity with moral dysregulation, addictions, you like people that have the same addiction, you have so much affinity with this, moral dysregulations, you like this confusion of dependence, all this. In my case, I had this because I have a boyfriend that smoked too, or emotional dependence. and accommodation, and all spirits around. My brother was a smoker too. My father and mother, one day after we birthed, they were smokers too, my father and mother. But when we birthed, they stopped it. They have strong motive by sons and daughter, and they have a good a good action to stop this, a good resolution they had. And is this too for today. I hope in this lecture must let clear what is the real problem of a vice. And the pain is not a beat. The dependence, emotional dependence, is not a beat pain. Sometimes appear monstrous pain that you were lost in a great hole and don't have no one to retire you from this. Only you must go out of this hole. It's a great pain. But we must come in front of this to don't transform our life in a real hell of dependence and slavery. Is this when we are with our control, we turn it to so much attractive, because we develop strong inside, and this turns us attractive to the other that have the same strong. It's real, it's a real acquirement. You resume your own will, your own self-control, your self-control, your own control. And this will strong tool to construct things in other dimension. Your will, not money here, not fame, but the will. God bless all. Thank you to be here. Thank you your company. And God bless you until the next.